part is like this material God. She like never like kissed him, but she's like raised her hair like as if she's doing this. It's I know.
She's read the article on Facebook about how we should never punish kids. Like they're going to this whole thing about actually miss
Yeah, like punishing is so much different than just like asking them.
Right.
Like explaining, like I'm
yeah, and it was like a parenting thing. They were saying like timeouts are horrible for the kids. Like psychological and I had all this like yeah, this is totally parenting, but
so like what's it better?
well, that was the other thing is that I'm reading this article on Facebook and they never give you the answer. But some of the comments were like, but most of the time when they're doing a problem behavior, what they need is like attention, love, rather than anger.
So instead of yelling at them. Yeah, I gotta make them understand.
Right.
And what's wrong with you?
I feel like when you're in the your parenting style, so your parents is just going to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robbie. At this point, no one could doubt that the Anarchist was anything but serene.
I guess he was calming.
Sure, he felt right at home. Like within those Roman anarchist circles that have always got more undercover police than actual anarchists.
The line of fire of our false accusations hadn't even minimally damaged his psyche.
Therefore, no raptus. Raptus comes later. When?
Around midnight.
Caused by what?
I figured that the reason...
No, you don't figure anything. You're not supposed to know anything about it, Madam Superintendent.
Why can't I know?
For the love of God, we're bending over backwards to show that you had nothing to do with the anarchist's death, because you weren't even there.
Right. Sorry, I was distracted.
But you get distracted a little too often, ma'am. From now on, pay better attention. So, the cat was away, and the mice came out to play. Inspector?
Yeah, I was there, though I went out after.
Here we go, throwing the blame around again. Be a good boy and tell me what happened around midnight.
We were in this room, 6 of us, 4 officers, me, and lieutenant from the Carabinieri.
Oh yes, that one they promoted to captain later on.
Yeah, him.
And what were you guys doing?
Interrogating him?
Still? Where were you? What were you doing? Speak, don't be a smartass. Damn, after all those hours.
Not at all. We were just, joking around.
Oh, please. Joking around?
Yeah, I swear, ask the guard.
No need, it's not so credible. But yes, here it is in the deposition made to the judge.
Of course. And he never doubted us a bit.
Oh, I believe it. But joking around in what way?
Like, we were kidding. We were interrogating him, but we were trying to have a laugh with him.
I don't get it. Were you playing charades? Did you put on funny hats and play kazoos?
I mean, it really didn't come that far, but we were having a laugh with the suspect. Making some jokes, some puns.
Yeah. seem like it, but he is a real jokester. Yeah, you should see the hilarious interrogations he does. Your Honor, what a laugh.
Now I understand why in Rome they've decided to change your motto.
The motto of the police force?
Yeah, the ministry decided.
They're changing it?
Well, or they're completing it at least. How does it go now?
Police are at the service of every citizen.
Yeah, that one. From now on, it'll be the police are at the service of every citizen. To entertain them.
You're just making fun of us now.
No, I am more than convinced that you guys treat the suspects jokingly, as you assert. I remember I was in Bergamo during the interrogations of the so-called Monday gang. You remember there was a priest involved, friggin' pharmacist, almost a whole town charged, and then turned out innocent. Anyway, I was staying in a little hotel right near the police station where the interrogations were happening. And almost every night I'd be woken up by the sounds of screaming and crying, which at first I thought were people being beat up. But then I realized it was laughter. Yes, the suspects were laughing. Ha ha! Ha! Oh man! Stop! Ha ha! Help! I can't breathe! I can't take anymore! Inspector, stop! I'm dying!
Sarcasm aside, you know that soon after, the chief, the newbie officers, they were all convicted.
Sure, for excessive use of comedy. No, I'm not kidding. You guys have no idea how many people who aren't even guilty invent crimes just so they can be interrogated by you guys and finally have a good laugh for once in their sad, sad lives.
Your Honor, I think your jokes have gone too far, and now you're just mocking us.
Oh, heck no, I would never allow that.
Would you mind if I closed the window? It's suddenly so cold in here.
Yes, by all means. Yes, it is cold in here.
That's because the sun just went down.
Yes, but then again, the sun didn't go down that night.
Huh?
I was saying the night the Anarchist flew out the window. Did the sun stay out? Wasn't there a sunset?
I don't get it.
I'm saying, despite it being December, the window was still open at midnight, which means it wasn't cold. And if it wasn't cold, it could only be because the sun hadn't gone down yet. It was setting later, at 1 a.m., like in Norway in July.
No, we just opened it to let some fresh air in, right?
Yeah, there was a ton of smoke.
The suspect smoked a lot, you know.
You guys opened the glass and even the shutters?
Yes.
In December? At midnight? With the thermometer below 0? Quick, we need some fresh air. Who gives a shit about getting pneumonia? You guys at least had your coats on.
No, just jackets.
Very sporty.
But it really wasn't that cold. I
No,
promise.
it wasn't cold.
Oh, really? That night, the weather service reported for all of Italy temperatures that could kill a polar bear, and these guys weren't cold. Feels like spring. Do you guys have a personal monsoon that runs through here every night?
Excuse me, Your Honor. But you said that you're here to help us, but instead, you're just questioning everything we say. Making us feel like shit, mocking us.
You're right, maybe I've gone too far. But here, it seems like one of those stupid weekly newspaper games for children. Find the 37 differences between these two pictures in the adventures of Inspector Stupidoni. Alright. It's okay. Don't look like this is a funeral. I'm sorry. From now on, I promise no more screwing with you. Totes serious. Let's forget about the backstory
Yes, let's.
and come to the main event. The jump.
Agreed.
The Anarchist. Seized by a raptus. Gets up suddenly. Takes the short run and... Wait, who helped him out?
What do you mean, helped him up.
AKA who stood by the window ledge with his fingers locked like this so he could get up and out.
What are you saying? You think that we,
Oh, goodness gracious, don't get upset. I was just saying, well, I mean, I was only thinking. Being pretty high up for a jump, without much of a run-up, without any outside assistance. Well, I wouldn't want anyone to be able to
There's
question.
nothing to question, Your Honor. He did it all by himself, I swear.
There wasn't even a little platform like they use in competitions?
No.
Okay, so we have, on one hand, a man who's, what, 1.7 meters tall, tops, unassisted, without steps. On the other hand, half a dozen cops, barely a few meters away. One even right by the window, who all couldn't stop him in time.
But it was all so sudden.
Yeah, you have no idea how fast that devil was. I was barely able to grab him by a foot.
You see how my provocation technique works? You grabbed him by a foot.
Yeah. Yes, but his shoe stayed in my hand, and he fell out anyway.
It's not important here. What's important is that the shoe stayed. That shoe is the irrefutable proof of your will to save him.
Duh. Irrefutable.
Good for you.
Thank you, Super.
Shut up.
Hold on. Something's not right here. Did the suicide victim have 3 shoes?
3 shoes? How?
You heard me. One remained in the hands of the officer, who then made a statement a few days later. Right here.
Yeah. True. She told a reporter from the stomach.
But in this attachment here, it assures us that the dying anarchist on the pavement outside had both shoes on.
Don't get how it could have happened.
Me either. Unless this super fast officer managed to rush down to the 2nd floor, reach the 2nd floor landing, and stick her head out the window before the railway worker passed, put his shoe back on his foot in mid-flight, and come back up to the 4th floor like a rocket at the instant he was reaching the ground.
There! You see? You're being sarcastic again.
You're right. Couldn't resist. So, pardon, but you wouldn't happen to remember if, by chance, he was a triped?
Who?
The suicide victim. The railway operator. If he had 3 feet, it's logical he'd wear 3 shoes.
No, he was not a triped.
What a shit show. We need to find a plausible motive for this guy.
I don't know.
Let's hear it.
Here. Obviously, one of his shoes was a little bit too big. So not having an insole on hand, he put on a tighter shoe before pulling on the regular one.
2 shoes on the same foot?
Yeah, that's so strange. Like with galoshes, you remember those rubber sort of boots people used to wear?
Yeah, used to.
Hey, there are still people who wear them. In any case, you know what I think? That what the officer was left hanging onto wasn't a shoe, but a galosh.
Come on. That's impossible. An anarchist with galoshes? Those are for old-timers, conservatives.
Anarchists are very conservative.
Yeah, totally. That's why they assassinate kings.
Well, look, I thought of you guys as nostalgic types, but not monarchists. In any case, if you don't like the story with the galoshes, or the one with the 3 shoes,
Excuse me. Yeah, hello. All right, one moment. It's a desk card. He says, down in the lobby, there's a journalist asking for you, Madam Superintendent.
Journalist. That's right. I gave her an appointment for today. It's the one from La Repubblica or L'Espresso, I don't remember. Asking for name's Folletti.
If her name's Folletti, yeah, Maria Folletti.
Then it's her. Well, tell her to come by another day since I'm busy today.
don't even think about it. I won't let you have any trouble on my account.
How so?
I know that one. She means business, and she's capable of giving you hell. Very touchy. Despite you, she'll write one of those articles. Let her in, seriously.
Agreed then. Send her in.
Bring her up to me.
So, what'll you do now? Are you leaving us?
No way. I never abandon my friends, especially in their moment of peril.
You're staying? But how will we explain who you are? You want that vulture of a journalist to find out what you're here to do? To then write it all down in her newspaper? Do you want to ruin us?
No, of course not. Calm down. The vulture won't know who I really am.
Oh, no?
No, I'll be someone else. That's easy for me. Psychiatrist? Director of forensics? Head of Interpol? If she tries to corner you with tough questions, just shoot me a glance and I'll interject. The important thing is not to jeopardize yourselves.
You're too generous, Your Honor.
Goodness, don't call me that anymore. From now on, I am Captain Marcantonio Piccini from the Central Forensic Department, okay?
But there's a real Captain Piccini. He works out of Rome.
Precisely. That way, if she tries to write something we don't like, it'll be easy to show she made it all up. By calling in the real Captain Piccini from Rome.
You're a genius! Though, do you really think you can play the part of captain?
Have no fear. During the last war, I was an army chaplain.
Oh, shut up! She's here! Ah, Miss Folletti, do come in.
Good afternoon, and which of you is the superintendent?
I am. Pleased to meet you, ma'am. What a shame we've only ever met on the phone.
How do you do? The guard at the front desk was giving me a hard time.
Of course, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I forgot to inform him you were coming. Allow me to introduce my colleagues. Inspector Pisani, the commissioner in charge of this office.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine, ma'am.
And finally, Captain...
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, here we are. Allow me. I am Captain Marcantonio Piccini from the Central Forensic Department. Pardon the stiff handshake. It's made of wood. Please make yourself at home, miss.
Would you like something to drink?
No, thank you. If you don't mind, I'd like to start right away. I'm in a bit of a rush. Unfortunately, my article needs to be in tonight to get printed for tomorrow.
As you wish. Let's get started. We're ready.
I have several questions to ask. The first is for you, Inspector. Oh, forgive me if it's a little provocative. I use a tape recorder, unless you're all opposed.
Well, to tell the truth, you don't.
No problem at all. Go right ahead. Rule number 1, never say no.
But if something slips out, if we want to deny it later, she'll have proof.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Is there a problem?
No problem at all. The inspector was just telling me what a remarkable woman you are. Brave, fearless, progressive, dedicated to the causes of truth and justice.
The inspector is too kind.
So what have you got for us?
Why is it they call you the window straddler?
Window strap. Me.
Yeah, Inspector Window Straddler.
And who supposedly calls me that?
I have here a photocopy of the letter a young anarchist sends from Sondersoy prison. He was in prison at the time of the anarchist falling to his death. He says some fascinating things about you, Inspector, and about this very room.
What does it say?
The inspector on the 4th floor forced me to sit on the windowsill with my legs hanging over the edge, and then he started provoking me. Go on, throw yourself out. What are you waiting for? I had to hold on tight because I really was on the verge of jumping.
Excellent. It reads like something out of a Hitchcock film.
Excuse me, Captain, this is directed to the head of this office. So, Commissioner, how would you respond to this?
Remain calm.
I have nothing to say! You answer me instead. Do you really think that I forced the railway worker out onto the window ledge too?
Don't fall for it.
Are you attempting to disrupt the proceedings, Captain?
Not at all, just talking to myself.
All right then. Now, amongst the papers released by the judge who closed the inquest, there's no forensic report on the trajectory of the fall.
Trajectory of what fall?
Of the alleged suicide.
And what use is that?
It would establish whether the anarchist was alive or dead at the moment he exited the window. That is, whether he came out with some impetus, or whether he just slid out as an inanimate object, grazing the wall, as it appears to have happened. Also, whether there were any fractures or lesions on his arms and hands, which there weren't, which suggests that the alleged suicide did not put out his hands to protect himself at the moment of impact. A gesture that, had he been conscious, would have been normal and instinctive.
Yeah, true. But don't forget, we're dealing with a suicide here. Someone who threw himself out because he wanted to die.
Yes, but that doesn't mean... Unfortunately, I must back up Miss Valetti here. As you can see, I'm completely objective. They've done all sorts of experiments on this, taken suicidal people and thrown them out of windows. And in each case, they've noticed that instinctively, at the right moment, they all put their hands out.
Great help you're being! Are you crazy?
Why, yes. How did you know?
But the most disturbing detail, which I'd appreciate an explanation for, is that missing from the archives is a cassette tape which recorded the exact time of the call from the ambulance. The call made from the switchboard of police headquarters, according to the operators and the Red Cross's testimony, happened at 2 minutes to 12. Meanwhile, all the reporters who ran over into the courtyard stated that the jump happened at exactly 12:03. Basically, the ambulance was called 5 minutes before the anarchist flew out of the window. Can one of you explain this curious discrepancy?
Nah, we do that often. Calling ambulances, preemptively. Because you never know. And sometimes we get it just right.
Bravo!
Careful.
Anyway, I don't get what you're trying to get at. What? Barely 3 minutes ahead of time? Come on. In the police, being prepared is everything.
I'm certain that it's because of the different clocks. Those reporters' watches were probably slow. Fast.
Or maybe the operator's switchboard was running behind when it recorded our call.
Certainly. More than likely.
A pandemic of clocks everywhere.
What's so strange? We're not in Switzerland here. Italians set their watches however they feel. Some like it ahead, others behind. We are a nation of artists, individualists.
Well said!
I just lost my contact lens. You keep surprising me.
Sorry, you're run. Sorry, ma'am, you were saying?
We are indeed a nation of rebels, aren't we? Just like judges who neglect to gather up eyewitness testimony, or timestamps on cassette tapes, or expertise on trajectories, or how an ambulance is called before it's needed. Petty details, right? Or the finger-shaped bruises on the victim's neck, which still have no clear cause.
Careful, ma'am. I'd advise you not to speak nonsense. It's dangerous.
Was that a threat?
No, Superintendent, I don't think Miss Valetti is speaking nonsense. She's obviously alluding to a version of the events which I know I've heard more than once, and which strangely enough originated right here, in this very building.
What are you talking about?
Word on the street is that during the anarchist's last interrogation, one of the cops interrogating him lost it, lashed out at him and got him in the neck. Relax, Inspector. The suspect was left semi-conscious, plus he couldn't breathe. So they called an ambulance. Meanwhile, they were trying to revive him. They opened the window and brought him over the window ledge, stuck his upper body out a bit so that the cold night air would wake him up. Well, they say there were two of them supporting him, and you know how it is. Each was trusting the other. Do I have him? Do you have him? Bada boom, he went down. Oh, my contact.
For Christ's sakes, have you gone crazy?
Yes, 16 times. God, look how dirty this is now. Officer, would you mind getting me a glass of water to clean this in?
You have to admit that this version clears up a ton of mystery. Why the ambulance was called early, why the body was inanimate when it fell, and even the public prosecutor's odd choice of phrasing in his concluding remarks.
What phrasing? Be more specific. I'm getting a headache.
The public prosecutor declared in writing that the anarchist's fate was an accidental death. Please note that he did not call it a suicide, as you do. There's a big difference between the two. On the other hand, the captain here has indicated that it may well have been an accident.
Oh! Shit! My contact. Well, let's hope it cures my headache.
Don't you think you've given her too much to work with? Hello, Vulture?
Please, leave it to me. Allow me to explain, miss, how that version is not at all reliable.
Sure, unreliable. Just like the judge who closed the case that the testimony from the retirees was inadmissible.
What's this story on the inadmissible retirees?
Strange, you weren't kept informed. In the judge's decree to close the inquest, he declared as inadmissible the testimony of the 3 witnesses cited by our anarchists, who asserted that they spent that tragic afternoon of the bombing in a bar by the canal playing cards with him.
Inadmissible? Why?
Because, in the judge's words, they're retired, they're elderly people in delicate health, and moreover, disabled.
And he even wrote that in the order.
Yes.
Mac, is the man wrong? I mean, these retirees aren't in the best of health, right?
Right, I mean, they're retired factory workers and quite poor.
Well, the judge was right then. In my experience, poor people try like hell to forget. Do you have any idea the conditions workers are in these days by the time they start collecting pension? And from the latest government statistics, fewer of them actually do. But we're not here to put capitalism on trial. We're here to discuss testimony.
Bravo, Captain.
You don't have the means to obtain essential vitamins, proteins, whatever? Sucks to suck. I'm sorry you're a second-class citizen. Get out of my courtroom.
Ah, see, I know we get around to classism and discussing class privilege.
Whoever suggested otherwise. I certainly admit it. We live in a society divided by class. Why even bother to get ahead? Go to college. We'll all be treated the same as those retirees anyway.
Excuse me, mind if I take?
Bertozzo, come on in, Inspector.
I just wanted to drop this off.
What is it?
It's a replica of the bomb that exploded at the bank.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, ma'am, it's the fuse.
Well, put it down over there. And come and shake hands with your colleague. You too, Inspector. Come here and make peace.
Madam Superintendent, can we at least know why he socked me in the eye?
Oh, you don't know, huh? And raspberry?
What raspberry?
Enough already! There are strangers here.
Madam Superintendent, I just want to know what made him. He walked into the room without even saying hello. Bam!
Oh, he's right.
Excuse me, but your face looks familiar.
Oh, must be because we've both got one eye covered.
No, but joking aside.
Allow me. I am Captain Mark Antonio Piccini from Forensics.
Pacini? No, that's not possible. I know Captain Pacini.
No, you don't know him.
Ow! I don't know him. Are you kidding me?
No, you don't know him.
Listen, let's not start again.
Let it go.
Ow! We went through police academy together. Ow!
Now, if they tell you to let it go. Oh, it was him.
If I may introduce you, Inspector, I'll explain later, Miss Maria Folletti, journalist. Understand now?
Pleasure to meet you. Inspector Bertozzo. Oh, I don't understand now. Ow! Ah! You say superintendent, he's the one who always strikes.
What the hell are you doing, Madam Superintendent? You're right! I'm losing control of my own department! Rosaldo, shut up and listen! This lady is here for a very important interview! Got it?
Ow! Hey, got it.
So, ma'am, if you'd like to ask him any questions too, the inspector is, among other things, an expert in ballistics and explosives.
Oh, yes, there is something you can clear up for me. You were saying that in that box is a replica of the bomb from the Bank of Agriculture?
Well, it's an especially rough facsimile since all the original explosives were lost. If you get what I'm
But,
saying.
yeah, one was saved, though, unexploded.
Right, the one from the Bank of Commerce.
And explain to me why instead of defusing the bombing, handing it over to forensics so they can thoroughly examine it, as is protocol, the people who found the bomb immediately went to the courtyard, buried it, and detonated
I'm sorry, why are you asking?
it. You know the reason better than I do, Inspector. And that way you destroyed not only the bomb, but the bomber's signature.
That's true. In fact, in forensics, we often say, tell me how you make a bomb, and I'll tell you who you are.
No, this isn't the cheese.
Of course he isn't! Shut the hell up!
I didn't think so. So who is it?
If Inspector Bertozzo will allow me, as head of forensics.
Who are you kidding? Please put that down. What are you doing? That's dangerous.
And from forensics, go over there. You see, this sort of bomb is really rather complex. Look at all these wires, 2 detonators, the timer, all these levers. It's so complex. In fact, you could easily hide a second delayed action mechanism in here. And no one would ever really be able to find it. Unless you spent all day taking it apart piece by piece. And in the meantime, boom.
He really does sound like a technician, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it isn't the cheating.
This is why it was better to lose the bomber's signature, as you were saying, and set the bomb off right there, rather than to risk it exploding in the middle of our people. An even bigger massacre than the first. Capito?
Yes, this time you've actually managed to convince me.
I've even managed to convince myself.
I'm convinced too. Bravo, great thinking.
There, you pulled it off. I told you it was wooden.
I'm sorry.
You'll be pulling off my leg next.
Bertoldo, say something too! Show that our division's not asleep either!
Surely, the real bomb was rather complex. I saw it. Much more complex than this one. The work of highly trained technicians. Professionals, as they say.
Careful!
Professionals. Military, perhaps?
More than likely. Ow!
Asshole!
What did I say?
Excellent! So, even though you knew that to construct, let alone handle bombs of this type, requires professional expertise, preferably military, you were desperate enough to throw this on some amateur group of left-wingers, leaving behind actual leads. And no use specifying which political leanings I'm referring to.
Sure, if you follow Bertozzo's version, which isn't really an authority on the matter, because he's not really a true explosives expert. It's just an interest of his, a hobby.
Oh, a hobby, an unreliable source? Who are you? What do you know? What is he? Someone want to explain?
All right!
Chill out.
Calm down, Inspector. I'm sure everything you said is true. Just as it's true that the police and the judiciary pounce on, if I may, the most deranged, pathetic gang of fuck-ups imaginable, the Anarchist group, with the dancer as their boss.
You're right! They were fuck-ups, but that was their facade, so no one would notice them.
Okay, so in fact, underneath the facade, what have we got? Out of the 10 members of the group, 2 are really your people. 2 are confidants, ready at spies. 1, a fascist from Rome known to all except our nightly little group. And the other's one of your officers disguised as an anarchist.
It's true. As far as that officer goes, disguised as an anarchist, I don't know how they could even believe him. I know him. He's a dumbass. Ask him about Bakunin and he'll guess it's a cheese.
This guy's starting to piss me off. An expert on everything, knows everyone. I know him.
Anyway, I don't entirely agree with you. That officer of ours, he's a top-notch operative, highly trained.
And you got plenty more of these highly trained agent spies sprinkled through all the far left groups.
I have no issue revealing that, yes, we have many. In fact, even in tonight's audience, we've got a few of our people, as always. Would you like to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, those are just actors. The real ones are here, but they stay quiet.
You see, at ease, people. Our spies and informants are our strength, truly.
They serve to prevent any issues. Keep things under control.
To provoke domestic terrorism, so they'll have a pretext to crack down on civilians and form a repressive police state. Oh, I was just preempting the lady's comment.
Of course, it's obvious. At any rate, since you have close surveillance over every aspect of this little band of pilgrims, would these people even be capable of organizing such a sophisticated attack without you intervening to stop them?
Careful, the vulture is circling.
Well, the truth is that in those days, our officer was absent from the group.
It's true, he even had a signed note from his parents.
Please. Your Honor.
But the other confidant, the fascist, he was there, no? The judge in Rome said that he was responsible for organizing and instigating it, for taking advantage of their naivety to get them to carry out an attack.
Oh, the vulture has landed.
To begin with, I will say that the fascist you speak of wasn't one of our people at all.
But how then? Why was he always hanging around police headquarters in Rome, especially in the political division?
If you say so. That's not my understanding.
Oh, touche, Madam Superintendent.
So you don't quite recall that out of 173 bombings that have occurred, about one every 3 days, out of 173, about 102 were discovered to have been definitely organized by fascists, right-wingers, oftentimes aided by the police, for the explicit purpose of putting the blame on far-left political groups. Once in a while, we find it some other source: France, America, Israel, even the Vatican.
Tremendous.
Well, those figures should more or less match ours. What do you think, Inspector?
Yeah, I'll have to verify him, but I'd agree.
And if you have time, why not try verifying how many of these attacks were organized with the intention of casting suspicion and responsibility on far-left groups?
Well, like all of them?
What are you suggesting, miss, with these provocations? That if instead of focusing on some wannabe anarchists, that if instead we actually followed up other more reliable leads like fascist paramilitary organizations backed by big money in our own armed forces, that maybe we would have figured out the real story.
Don't worry. Now he's going to turn the whole argument around. It's his technique. I've learned it by now. It's a Jesuit thing.
So, yeah, you're totally right.
God damn it! Are you crazy?
Crazy. Crazy, it's him.
You know, hearing all this from a police captain is certainly shocking.
Madam Superintendent, I know who he is. I know him.
Well, you should keep it to yourself and not go telling everyone around.
I swear, I know him. He's not in the police. He's in disguise.
I know that already. Don't tell the journalist.
He's a maniac and a hypocrite. Don't you understand?
You are a maniac. Shut up, I can't hear what they're saying.
So, certainly, a scandal like this, you'd eat right up to find out that the massacre of innocent people at the bank was all to cover up the struggles coming out of the labor conflict last year. Employers trying to suppress the unions, the workers striking, and all to create some tension and get citizens agitated and practically begging for a strong state to intervene.
See? He has 2 eyes. 2 eyes.
What? Have you gone insane? Of course he does. Why wouldn't he?
So why is he wearing an eye patch if he has 2 eyes?
You have 2 eyes, and you're wearing a bandage. You don't see us ripping it off your face. Just shut up a minute. I'll explain later.
How funny. You wore that just on a whim?
No, so that no one would catch my eye.
Oh, that's good. But go on, tell me about the scandal that would have happened.
Oh, yes, a huge scandal. Lots of arrests on the far right. Lots of important people. Senators, military folk. The Social Democrats weeping. The newspapers changing editors. The left calling to ban the fascist parties. And then the chief of police would be praised for his courage. And then given an early retirement.
No, Captain. Those are your own conclusions. And rather uncalled for.
This time I'm with you, Superintendent. I think a scandal like that would actually give credit to the police. The average citizen will feel like they live under a better system. Maybe not perfect, but a little less unjust.
Sure. And it'd be more than sufficient. Do people want true justice? Instead, we'll make them content with a little less unjust. Workers are calling enough exploitation. We'll make it a little less brutal on them. They want to stop dying in factories? We'll put in a few more protections. They want a revolution? We'll give them reforms! Lots of reforms! We'll drown them in reforms! Or better yet, we'll drown them in promises of reforms, because we're not even going to give them that.
This guy really is a crazy person.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell you that.
See, the average citizen doesn't
Look
actually...
at his freaking hands. Can't you all see it's fake?
Come on, Inspector. You can't say that. Of course it's fake. He was saying how he lost it. Like that.
No, it's a fake hand. Look.
Leave him alone. I won't allow you to take the captain apart like that.
No, it's all right. My real hand was getting tired of holding it.
And why do you keep on interrupting? Do you think you can discredit him because he has 2 hands and 2 eyes?
No, it's because he's a maniac and a hypocrite. He
So
never...
who is he then?
He's just...
Excuse us, ma'am, but he has a telephone call.
Do you want to ruin us, idiot?
That needs to stay a secret. If she finds out they're reopening the inquest, we're fucked.
Who's reopening the inquest?
You're the one saying he knows everything, but you don't even know. You're screwing us over.
I'm not screwing us over. I just want to know.
Shut up.
Ow!
Keep phoning and shush.
Whoa, who's calling?
Oh, Madam Superintendent. No need to worry. The captain, or ex-captain, has told me everything.
What did he tell you?
Who he really is.
He told you?
Yes, I couldn't keep lying. By now, she'd figured it out.
I hope he made you promise not to publish it.
Of course I'm going to write it. Here. At Central Police Headquarters, I met a bishop in plain clothes.
A bishop?
Yes. I'm sorry for deceiving you all.
Bishop now, you don't all believe that, right?
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Father Augusto Bernier, appointed by His Holiness Pope Paul VI as Vatican's special envoy to the Italian police.
No. Now he's a bishop cop too. You guys don't believe it?
But we know he's full of shit. He did it to save us. You get it?
Save us. What? Did he promise you eternal salvation?
Shut up and kiss the ring.
No! I refuse! You've all gone crazy! He's infected you!
What happened to him, the poor man?
Some type of seizure, I think. This'll help me. I was a medic before I took my vows, you know. This is a Benedictine tranquilizer.
They have those?
Yo,
There's a little left. Would you like some?
You know, I had a feeling, Your Eminence, that you were actually a clergyman. Perhaps it was all that talk of truth and justice.
he's mad. He's like an actual schizophrenic.
Oh, well. As St. Gregory the Great said, when he was elected Pope and discovered attempts to cover up some terrible scandals, he was furious. And he said, Nolimus aut velimus, omnibus gentibus, justitiam et veritatem.
Your Eminence, please. I failed Latin like 3 times.
guess you're right. Well, more or less, he says, like it or not, I will impose truth and justice. I will do the impossible to expose these scandals in the most glamorous of ways. And then some other stuff which I don't quite remember, but more or less he says, scandals are great for reinforcing the power of the state.
Wow, could you write that down for me here? So basically, even if there isn't a scandal, you should create one if you want to maintain power over the people.
Indeed. And you journalists are the privileged ones assuring the process continues.
The privileged one. Then why does our government go mad every time we uncover a scandal?
Certainly, our government, which is still developing, pre-capitalist. Look at the more developed nations, like in Northern Europe. You remember the Profumo affair in England? The Minister of Defense all caught up in drugs, prostitutes, espionage. Did the state collapse? Or the stock exchange? Not at all. If anything, they were never so strong.
That's like saying that scandal is a breeding ground for a strong democracy.
Exactly. Scandals are the fertilizer of democracy. Scandal is better than people actually gaining political consciousness. If people become too aware, we're screwed. For example, look at America, a real democracy. Has it ever tried to cover up the true facts about the massacres they carry out against black rights groups? Or the Vietnamese people? Not at all. It's in all their newspapers. Photos of butchered women and children, villages destroyed. They've made enough nerve gas and bombs to kill everyone 10 times over. And they don't censor it, and rightly so. That way, people can get angry, let off steam. Who do these politicians think they are? What kind of a government is this? And then they burp out a little social indignation and feel better. It's like Alka-Seltzer, but nothing changes.
Excuse me, you say America's so free, but what do you have to say about the murder of terrorists with their families? Or the burning of an entire black neighborhood in Philadelphia?
I was talking about the freedom to burn, not the freedom to live.
Hands up, or I'll shoot.
Bertozzo, are you out of your mind?
My God!
Hands up, you two, Superintendent.
Oh my God! Calm down, Bertozzo!
No, you calm down. Don't worry. Go on. Take them onto the coat rack, one by one. Don't make that face. I mean, this is the only way I can get you to listen to me. The gentle lady too. Also you. And you, Tony McPhone, please do me the favor and finally tell these people who you really are. Or since I had enough of you already, I'll shoot your face off right here. Quiet, all of you.
Gladly, but I fear that maybe if I tell them, they're not going to believe me.
What? They're gonna sing it instead?
No, I just need to show them my documents. My psychiatric clinic record, etc.
All right. Where are they?
There, in that bag.
Go on, move it. And no playing tricks or I'll shoot.
Here they are.
Here you go, people. See it to believe it.
No! An ex-drug
Varese, Gorizia, Parma. He's been through them all.
I have.
15 electroshock therapies? Solitary confinement for 20 days?
Pyromaniac burned down the library at Alexandria, Egypt, in the 2nd century BC.
What? Tell me that. Wrote that part himself. It's in his handwriting, idiot.
So he's a counterfeiter too. Besides an imposter, a con artist, I'll have you thrown behind bars for this abuse of falsely held authorities.
No, you can't even. He's crazy. Licensed to be. I've already been through this with him.
There's such a great article coming along. He ruined everything.
I'll ruin him. Please, Bertozzo, please undo these handcuffs right now.
No, then you'll really be fucked. Crazy people in this country are like sacred cows in India. Don't lay a finger on them.
Bastard. Maniac. Passing himself off as a judge. The counter-investigation. He made me sick showing up here.
Well, that's nothing compared to the shock you're getting now. Count to 10 and we'll all go for a ride.
What are you doing? Don't be a moron.
I'm a maniac, not a moron. How rude. Put away the gun, Bertozzo, or I'll set this guy off.
Oh my God! Please, mister! Don't fall for it, Bertozzo! It's diffused! How can it explode?
Right, don't fall for it.
All right then, Bertozzo, since you're an expert on it, even if your grammar sucks. Let's see, the detonator. See it here? It's an acoustic long burn.
Acoustic longer? What? Where did you find it?
Put the gun on the table. Go join your friends. I have it with me. I have everything in here, including a tape recorder, which I've used to record everything everyone said since I walked in here. Check it out.
And what are you gonna do with it?
Make 100 copies and send them all over. Newspapers, political parties, the ministries. This will really blow up.
No! You can't do that! You know perfectly well that all of our confessions were false, distorted by your provoking, and you're pretending to be a judge!
Who cares? The important thing is to have a scandal. So that the Italian people, like the Americans and the English, can become a modern and socially democratic society. So they can finally exclaim, we're up to our necks in shit! And that's exactly why we walk with our heads held high! Are you not a fan of that ending? I have another one, actually. You decide which one you like better. Let's take that again. We're up to our necks in shit, and that's exactly why we walk with our heads held high.
All right, do what you have to, but defuse the bomb right now.
No, I'll leave it here. It'll keep you sweating till I'm out of here. Far, far away. First, let me press this lever. And off I go. Just kidding. You know I wouldn't do that. Look at these handsome people. I wouldn't kill all of them. Well, okay, that Pisani, I might kill him. You know, I don't want to make this weird or anything, but this is just like a normal Saturday night for me. By the way, is this a bad time to mention, if you have an E2 visa, attending this show is grounds for deportation? I should have said so before. Let's see.
The maniac must have jumped out the window with a bomb.
Oh look, my wrist is so thin the handcuff slipped off by itself. That's great for you, but the keys were with the maniac. Damn, there's a huge crowd gathering around. Do you have a statement to make, Madam Superintendent? Well, I had just left the room. What are you talking about? You were right here and handcuffed to the coat rack. Oh, right. Sorry. I was confused with the other time. Yeah, well, better run back to this paper and get it printed ASAP.
What about us?
Thank you all so much. Arrivederci!
Oh, excuse me. Am I interrupting something? I'm looking for the political division office.
It's you again! I thought you jumped out the window!
I beg your pardon. Is this how your division operates? With people attached to coat racks? And accusations against a judge who's come here to investigate reopened crimes?
Judge?
You're a judge?
Yes. What is so upsetting about that? I'm from the Superior Council. My name is Antonio Gattacinti, and I'm here to reopen the rather odd inquiry into the death of that anarchist man. Do you mind if we get started at once?
No! Not at all! Sit down!
Chegando